Chelsea against Nottingham Forest in the third round of the FA Cup, as Chelsea will do a lot of rotating while remaining the obvious favourites, as Gianfranco Zola finds very clear words for in-demand Callum Hudson-Odoi in his press conference today. To find out everything you need to know about both teams and the press conference ahead of the game, be sure you watch the whole preview. Hello there guys, and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for my preview of the Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest, game in the third round of the FA Cup. And it is the FA Cup. This is my preview. As it goes as usual, I'll talk about our opponent, I'll talk about the press conference, which today was a bit spicy, very, very interesting. Then the Chelsea team, obviously the lineup I would go for, the lineup I think is likely to happen, what I think the game will go like, what I think we should do, and then obviously my, score prediction. But of course, this is the preview. There will be a review, there will be fan cams, a vlog, all sorts of content surrounding the game as always. So if you don't want to miss out on any of that, please do make sure to subscribe to 100% Chelsea, and also let's see whether we can hit 400 or more likes in this video. That would be massively appreciated. You would just make me very happy. So please do make sure to smash the like button down below. Just to quickly interject, I forgot to mention this when I originally recorded. Please do make sure to click the card up there or on the end screen or in the link below to watch the 100% Chelsea roundup of 2018. It's a great video. Dom spent a lot of work, a lot of time working on and editing it, and obviously it came out this morning. So please do make sure to watch the whole thing through. It's a great video in my opinion. So like I said, the card up there, it probably is gone by now, but you know what I mean. The card up there, click that or the link on the end card or in the description below. Just watch it. But yeah, back to the actual video. But now getting straight into the preview and starting it off by speaking about our opposition, even though I just stumbled over my own words there. But yeah, Forest currently sit in 7th in the Championship, 4 points off the playoffs and Frank Lampard's Derby County. Now in comparison to the other Championship teams, the goals scored and conceded aren't all that bad, to be honest. I mean, scoring wise, they're a bit off the best teams in the league, but pretty close to the teams properly close to them, properly around them. But conceding wise, to be honest, with 29 goals conceded in 26 games, that's pretty good. Very similar to most teams ahead of and behind them as well, in and around behind them, let's say. But their recent form hasn't been great, not at all. Obviously in the Championship, they're also playing loads and loads and loads of games, so their main players won't be any less fatigued than ours will. Obviously we've played a lot of games recently. But before their impressive 4-2 home victory over Leeds, who are top of the Championship by the way, on New Year's Day, Forest haven't won a game for a full month. Their last win dates back to December 1st with 3 defeats and 2 draws since. Obviously on January 1st and on December 1st at the last 2 wins. So not exactly on great form. Although I'll tell you what, the Championship is an absolute madness. Like I said, they beat Leeds 4-2 who are top of the Championship. They played 3-3 against Norwich on Boxing Day and 5-0 against Aston Villa back in November. Championship is a bloody madness. I mean, footballing quality can sometimes be questions, I guess. But the excitement levels are in a lot of games like through the roof, through the bloody roof. Their best goal scorer is by far Lewis Graben with 14 goals, with their next best goal scorer being Joe Lolly on 6 goals, but he also does have 6 assists, so still, a very good season for him. And those two, I would say, are the biggest danger men, for us, obviously, tomorrow, if they play, I guess. Forest basically always play in a 4-2-3-1 formation, but obviously whether they'll do that against us is impossible to say, having no reference as to what they do against a much better team than them, which we obviously are, even when we do a lot of rotating, because, they've played Newcastle in the League Cup, who they beat, earlier in the season, but Newcastle isn't quite Chelsea, is it? So it's not like playing a top 6 team from the Premier League. So it's difficult to say whether they'll go with maybe a 5 at the back formation against us, but, obviously in the Championship and against teams close to their ability, I guess, they basically always play in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Now, game plan wise, they're kind of forced to, but also do just vary quite a bit by themselves. In some games, they have loads of possession. In others, they have barely any. Less than 40% is not the biggest rarity. And sometimes they score loads of goals. Obviously, I mentioned the 5-0 against Newcastle, the 4-2 win against Leeds, stuff like that. But then other times, they just can't find the net to save their lives. And generally, they're just a really tricky team to predict for us. And that's for sure, because like I said, they haven't played anyone like us. So how that will change is, I'm sure, also difficult for our coaching staff to assess. But seen by our game against Derby County earlier in the season, the League Cup, also this game certainly won't be easy, even though they're only a Championship side. But to be honest, that's really it about Nottingham Forest. They're now getting into Gianfranco Zola's press conference. And like I said earlier, a very, very interesting press conference for a change. Now, to start it off with, we got some information on team news, and he did state that Willian, Olivier Giroud and Pedro won't be available for the game tomorrow, but did say that there is actually a good chance for both Olivier Giroud and Pedro to return in time for the midweek game against Spurs in the League Cup. Willian's injury isn't serious, but Zola, he did say that in the press conference, doesn't know whether he'll be fit for the League Cup semi-final first leg, like I said, against Tottenham in midweek or not. He doesn't know that at this stage. We'll have to wait and see. He did also say that Callum Hudson-Odoi has returned to full training after, obviously his hamstring injury that he picked up away at Watford, and is certainly available. Plus, Zola did say that he's very likely to play tomorrow. Whether that means starting or come on, We'll have to wait and see, hopefully starting, but he is at least available. And as we are on the topic of Callum Hudson-Odoi, let's get into these very clear words by Gianfranco Zola to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now firstly, the Italian did confirm Bayern Munich's interest in Hudson-Odoi, who reportedly have already made 2, if not 3 bids for him already, the latest being worth over £30 million actually. While it is said that Chelsea have told Bayern Munich that there is no chance for less than £40 million, plus, you know, only then if there's a buyback clause, you know, basically in there for us as well. Whether that is true, I don't know, but that's what's being reported anyway. Zola then also confirmed that we ourselves are also very interested in him, in Callum Hudson-Odoi, as we have offered him a contract for quite a while now, or quite a while ago, that he still hasn't made a decision whether he wants to sign it or not. Although some reports say, you know, he has rejected the offer. Whether that's true or not, that's not what Zola said today, let's say that. And then, like I said, he found some very interesting and strong words about him and to Hudson-Odoi, saying he might not have played as much as he would have liked, but that is down to the quality of players in front of him. Obviously, I know a lot of you would disagree with Willian and Pedro that they're better than him, but that's what Zola said. Zola even told Hudson-Odoi, he said that not playing is not a waste of time because it's the time to improve, especially at his age, and to be pushed to do just do more, hoping that the player is using the time well, and hopefully he will end up signing the contract extension at Chelsea, as the club does believe that he, you know, can have a very, very bright future, you know, at Chelsea. Then being questioned as to how good he can be, Zola said that for an 18-year-old, he has huge potential to be a great player. But what you have to understand, he said, is that the journey is not finished, that his journey is not finished, that he's at an age where it's very important to keep a good attitude, possibly criticizing his attitude a little bit there, and that he said, you know, he needs to use this time to keep improving. According to Zola, it's not important to play straight away at 18, play 30 or 20 games. That's not important. What is important is to improve and develop. And also said that patience is very important, and that he will have to learn that right now he has to focus on getting better, not on why he didn't play in a game, or, you know, maybe that he should be playing 20 games or something like that. Zola said that he has to focus on what he should do and can do to be better than Pedro, than Willian, or even Hazard. If he does that, Zola said he will be a fantastic player. Me personally, I both agree and disagree with Zola here. Like, at 18, it is okay to start 5 games up until January for a club like Chelsea. That is okay. Yes, you have Jadon Sancho doing incredible things at Borussia Dortmund, but that is not normal. You can't make that the norm. That doesn't necessarily work like that. Sadia said it before. He has to win. He can't always take these risks. And whether you disagree with, you know, him having that pressure from the board to win and not being able to take risks like playing a youngster, is a different question. But that is the scenario that we're in. But at the same time, you know, improving with training doesn't work as quickly as improving with games. I think everyone knows that. I think any player will tell you the same thing. But Zola was a player, a very, very, very good player, a world-class player. So he kind of knows what he's on about, at least to an extent. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm not going to criticize Gianfranco Zola like that. But still, I think, yes, he should keep his attitude. He should try to improve. He shouldn't worry about, all right, why didn't I play? He should worry about, okay, what do I need to improve to maybe play? But at the same time, especially when obviously the players in their positions don't necessarily play all their well, you know, especially Willian, although last game and last 2 games he wasn't all that bad. I kind of understand it, but he still does need to get game time. So it's kind of in the middle of both. He doesn't need to play 20 games. That's ridiculous. He's 18. He doesn't need to play 20 games. We need to slowly bed him in. He needs to start these games like Forest tomorrow. He needs to start there. He needed to start more of the league games. Of course, against Liverpool is a bit tricky, but even if it was early in the League Cup, that is a game that I can understand why he wouldn't start. And in the Europa League as well, in those early rounds, he needs to start these games and then come on in the Premier League eventually for, like, I don't know, the last 20 minutes or so, and have that happen more regularly. And then after a while, after doing that for a few months, then we can maybe start him against, you know, a lesser Premier League opposition. Now you can start doing that. You can't just throw him in there. Yes, of course you can, but it's not going to be that helpful. Look at him when he played against Watford. He wasn't bad, but it's not like he was any better than Pedro. He was worse than Pedro in my opinion before Pedro was forced off. So, you know, you have to consider these things. It's not just, okay, let's play Callum Hudson-Odoi and then we're going to be great. It's not that easy. Zola was certainly, you know, did find strong words and said, well, mate, go on and sign the new deal then because you're not going anywhere, basically. That's basically the way he spoke. He then also confirmed that Eden Hazard will almost certainly be rested tomorrow. I mean, I am certain that he will be rested tomorrow, but he wouldn't, like, fully confirm it. And then lastly, Zola stated that everyone at the club also shares the opinion that Ethan Ampadu will be an important member of the squad, and that, you know, everyone at the club itself just values him, you know, a lot, and that he will get chances throughout the season. But yeah, that was it from the press conference. I talked about that quite a bit, but let's continue on by talking about Chelsea and obviously the lineup. And to be honest, well, all I can say is rest everyone. Rest basically everyone that we have. That would be the best idea in my opinion. Because, yes, of course I want to retain the FA Cup if we can. It would be great. But if we're going to go out eventually, we might as well go out now. We might as well go out in this game. Because we have so many games. You know, the Europa League games has, you know, around more than the Champions League, around the 32. So it's just more games. But I won't be as upset if we don't win. Yes, you can talk about, oh, we lost to a Championship team. Who cares? You know, I don't really care. Because, you know, it wouldn't be the worst thing if we got knocked out, in my opinion. Hate me for it, but it wouldn't be the very worst thing. We're in the semi-final of the League Cup. We can win that, hopefully. That would be very good. Get to the final, you know, to start off with, and then think about winning it. In the Europa League, I expect us to get to at least to the semi-final. I have to expect that from Chelsea Football Club. Possibly win it. And then in the league, top 4 is just more important than the FA Cup. Top 4 is so much more important than the FA Cup. And if having a few less games there and having a week off, because some of the games are on weekends, that helps us, you know, that helps us. But anyway, the most important thing is to avoid a rematch. Let's not draw, but at any cost, let's not draw. I'd rather lose than draw, I can't lie. Even though, again, it sounds a little bit silly. Yes, it is a good chance to play youngsters, but the further you get, the more important the games become and the less rotation there will be. So then it's not even that much about youngsters anymore. But let's just say, play all the fringe players tomorrow. Caballero will be in goal, but heck, why not play Marcin Bulka? Why not? You know, you might as well. I mean, the back 4, in my opinion, has to be Zappacosta and Emerson as the fullbacks, and then Ampadu and Christensen as the 2 centre-backs. You know, it just has to be. I don't care if this could be Gary Cahill's last game for Chelsea. I mean, I love the guy. He's a proper hero of Chelsea and won everything with us. But this is not the time to play him, just to give him a last game when we have an 18-year-old already better than him in a lot of ways. So, you know, there's no question about it. Ampadu has to start over Gary Cahill tomorrow, and he better do. In midfield, Cesc Fabregas will, of course, play. You know, it might very well be his last game. He's obviously looking very likely to be joining Monaco. To be honest, Danny Drinkwater should play in midfield as well. I mean, he won't, but he really should just rest everyone we can rest. I mean, Mateo Kovacic seems to be back from injury now. Zola didn't mention him in, you know, the injured players at least. Obviously, that injury that kept him out of the Southampton game, even though we don't know what exactly that injury was. But rest him anyway. Have him be fully fit for, obviously, Spurs on Tuesday. Barkley, in my opinion, you can play because I don't want to see any of him against Tottenham. I just don't want to see him against Spurs. To be honest, I'd also say we can play Loftus-Cheek, but only if he's not going to start against Tottenham. Obviously, he also just returned from a back problem, from an injury, so don't strain him. You know, if he's going to start against Tottenham, he can't start tomorrow, in my opinion. And then the front 3, well, Callum Hudson-Odoi better start. Of course, you know, if he's fully fit only, because he obviously just recovered from his hamstring problem. We don't want him to play and then after 50 minutes or whatever it was against Watford, have to come off again because the hamstring injury opened up again. Let's not do this. So only if he's fully fit and fully ready to start, but if he is, he simply has to start, not just come on throughout the game. Because I want him to start, but also we have to make him sign that contract, you know, we just have to. So these kind of things, he just has to start. There's no question about it. And also, it's also, you know, helpful to rest others like Eden Hazard, of course. So, like I said, Callum Hudson-Odoi on the left. Morata probably should just play down the middle because I want Hazard up front against Tottenham anyway, if that's even possible, which only is possible if Pedro or Willian are fit at the same time, and even then only if Sarri is happy to play Loftus-Cheek on the wing against them, if not both Pedro and Willian are fit. But I really hope that we are able to play Hazard down the middle against Spurs. I think that would help us massively. And on the right wing, to be honest, I'd start Victor Moses tomorrow. I mean, I don't care if he hasn't played for months, basically, and you know, I don't care that he might well leave this month. He just has to play to rest others. You know, obviously Willian is injured, Pedro is injured. Well, actually, we don't have anyone else, but, you know, I'd rather play Moses on the right wing than Loftus-Cheek tomorrow. So, like, for me, it is impossible to predict this lineup. It is impossible. So I will tell you the lineup that I'd like to see, but that we definitely won't see at least exactly like that. I'd like Marcin Bulka in goal, like I said, a back 4 of Zappacosta and Emerson Palmieri as the 2 fullbacks, Ethan Ampadu and Andreas Christensen as the centre-back partnership, a midfield 3 of Cesc Fabregas, Danny Drinkwater and Ross Barkley. Then on the left, Callum Hudson-Odoi, on the right, Victor Moses, and you know, up front, Alvaro Morata. To be honest, I would even like to see some real youngsters, possibly even start, like Dejan Redden. I'm still not 100% sure how to pronounce his name, I'm really sorry, but Dejan Redden I'm going to go with. But that's just not going to happen. We're not going to... Maybe one of them is going to make the bench. Very, very maybe. Maybe McEachran, you know, obviously you made the trip to Vidi and was on the bench there, even though he didn't come on. Maybe someone like that. I very much doubt it, but maybe. But, you know, probably it's just as realistic as seeing Drinkwater, so who knows. Coming to how the game will go, I mean, you have to expect Forest to sit back, like all the other teams have done at the Bridge recently. I mean, they will be happy to get to a replay, to get a draw and take the replay obviously to their ground. Let alone obviously nick a 1-0 win. They'll be absolutely buzzing with that. But even with rotation, we should still be capable of breaking them down and beating them. And obviously, well, breaking them down and scoring and beating them. And hopefully we do rotate as much as I'd like, because that should give us some more intensity and sharpness, which is needed to break deep-sitting teams down, even though, you know, the quality with a lot of rotation would drop rather significantly in some positions. But, you know, it is still important, especially obviously with the Spurs game in mind and the Arsenal game and, you know, all these games. It's important to rest players. Like, there's no two questions about it. We need to rest everyone we can rest tomorrow. It's just, that's just what it is. I mean, my prediction is going to be, I don't know. I mean, either we'll lose 1-0 or we'll win like 3-1, I'd say. Of course, either thing could happen. We could just smack them. We could be a really tight game, an annoying game that drains the players even more. But, you know, that's really it for me. Leave me all of your thoughts ahead of the game. And in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Gianfranco Zola's comments to Callum Hudson-Odoi? Do you agree with him? would you be extremely upset if, like, obviously the rumours are that he handed in a transfer request kind of thing, asked to be allowed to join Bayern Munich? Would you be upset then? Because do we want players that don't actually properly want to stay? Do we even want them at the club, even though they are academy products? You know, these things. Leave me your thoughts on that, and of course your predicted lineups and score predictions ahead of the game tomorrow. Like I said in the beginning, let's see whether we can hit 400 or more likes in this video. That would be massively appreciated, so please do make sure to smash that like button down below. Don't forget to check out my social media, which is Last1507 on both Instagram and Twitter, as you can see over here, and also the links to both of them are down in the description below, so if you could follow me over there, I would absolutely love you for it. And of course, this is YouTube, so if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to 100% Chelsea, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell button and choose to be notified about all uploads so you don't miss any of the future videos.